about it. Boom.
Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. My partner's back. What's up, Ryan?
You've learned a lot of new tricks since I've been gone. You didn't even loop the song that time.
I know, man. I know. I always have it on loop just in case I forget. But what's up, man? Welcome back from World Championships. That looked like an unbelievable event.
Buddy,
got a big night tonight.
It was awesome. I mean, you know, we talked about it when we all went to Sweden last time. This was more of the same. It was fantastic from start to finish. I feel like last week was a month and a half long. Like we packed every bit of living into that event, man. It was great.
That's cool. It was fun to watch. They did a great job covering it, and then the anglers themselves y'all did a great job sharing pictures and inside info on the deal. What about? I mean, we got the top two tonight. We've got Jack and Antoine, who slid by on the Canadian team intro last week, came in second. He was picked to win by a lot of his teammates there. So
well, now you know why.
Yeah. And a few of y'all made a run at it. I mean, Ron had a run at it. Jackson, you were up there in the top 10 after day two. I mean, you made a run at it, man.
It did. It so much changed on day three. You know, I feel like day one was kind of, you know, a little tougher. We had some wind on day one. It was a little bit tougher. Day two, I felt like everything went right on day two. I think a lot of people got in a groove, and it was comfortable fishing. Day three went to shit. I mean, bad. We got out there, and it didn't seem like it was going to be that bad at first. The first hour and a half were not bad, and then it's like somebody just they turned the fan on high and hit the washing machine button. And before you knew it, man, it was 30-mile-an-hour winds, 3-4 foot rollers. I mean, you're sitting there fishing and taking waves, not splashing on the side of the boat, going all the way across the deck, and you're like, uh-oh, this is bad. Naturally, I didn't take any rain gear because I forget everything. So I was in shorts and my jersey, and I think I got like hypothermic, dude. I was freezing. I couldn't stop shaking. I just got all fuzzy-headed for about 45 minutes, and I was like, oh, shit, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
But we recovered. The fish didn't, but, you know, we're alive.
Yeah. What was the water temp up there? I mean, it is in the north.
Well, I don't know because I couldn't figure out how to change my graph over from whatever Canadian speak to freaking American. So Jordan was like, how deep are you catching your fish? I was like, 2.3 M, whatever the hell that is. I don't know. I was I don't know what it was. And Jim Orr's like, oh, it's super easy to change. I was like, Jim, I messed with it for an hour, dude. I don't care. I know if I get more M's, I'm getting deeper. That's all I know.
That's it. That's actually the conversion. More M's equals more feet.
More M's, deeper. Yes.
Yes. I like it, man. That's fun. At least I measured in inches.
I know. I'm glad that actually I'm kind of sad that they did that because, you know, measuring those perch in centimeters, you were looking good. You know, 25-inch perch or 25-inch centimeter perch is pretty small, turns out.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've been doing this run of shows the last few weeks, building up to tonight to not only talk to the world champ and the runner-up, but part of this whole deal was a Hobie World's Lynx giveaway in partnership with Eco Fishing, and tonight's the night, man. What do you think about that?
Tonight is the night. Somebody's getting a brand new, what do you call it, hybrid stand-up paddleboard?
Yeah, yeah. So we had our 9 names that we've pulled over the last 3 weeks, and then I told y'all we were going to get 2 names from the audio podcast, and I went over and found. Appreciate everyone that went over there and reviewed the podcast on Apple Podcast. Put the names in the deal, ran the spinning magic wheel there, and got 2 names out of that. So the 2 names added to the 11: Shane G and Kurt Page over from the audio podcast. I'll read their reviews real quick. Shane, I love these guys. Brutal honesty when needed. I'm an avid listener to the podcast. Doesn't get to watch the live shows. Kurt Page, I love listening to the podcast to stay informed on the national events, news, both good and bad, and hilarity in the kayak fishing community. So appreciate you.
We try to keep it fresh.
Those were legit reviews because that's what we do.
I like that.
Yeah,
legit. That's how I know they actually listened to the podcast and they didn't go review it just for the giveaway.
Yeah. So you 2 are in this. Here, let me share my screen and we'll show you what we got going here for later. We're gonna do this at the end of the show. Look at this magic. The 11 names spinning, just waiting for the big drawing at the end of the night. So it'll be fun.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it'll be fun, man. But yeah, unbelievable to watch. A lot of people were probably envious, jealous, whatever at home with all the fun y'all were having up there. And then of course 3 days of fishing for smallmouth, even in the high waves. How do you beat that, right?
I mean, honestly, it felt a lot like a vacation, minus having to pedal around so far and freeze to death.
Yeah. Now that was your first time up on that lake, right? What do you think of the lake in general? It
was. It's a beautiful, like it's so clear and just the prettiest color of blue. You wouldn't think a river running through Detroit would be that pretty, but it was great up there.
Yeah.
Everybody, I mean, hospitality was next level. They took great care of us. We had, dinners. They cook food every day when you get back from fishing. So when you're starving to death and you're dead because you didn't bring any food or water, they're feeding us. We had great meals. We had pizza 7 times. So that was cool. We really did great up there.
Bring pizza back to the U.S. Hobie events.
Yeah. Oh, hey, there's a good push.
I'm just kidding. I put this picture. I was going to throw it up for us to look at. The UFC walkout theme, and then Randy Howell's in front of you there.
Yeah. No, Randy came up to fish with us for a little. Just kidding. Randy Howell's not really there because they're actually off limits for St. Clair right now. So I don't want to get old Flat Top in trouble.
Yeah. I kind of look like him though. I like the UFC like walkout pick you had going there. That was cool with the nation.
Yeah, that was an accident. I didn't know I was getting picked.
Okay, was it Steve taking pics, or do you have somebody else doing it for him this time?
Mark, Big Worm.
Oh, Big Worm was up there.
Big Worm was up there with us the whole time, dude.
Dang.
Big Worm's wife had me cracking up. She is hilarious. I think she embarrassed him and I several times.
That's Worldwide Worm right there. I didn't know he was up there.
www.
That's it, man.
It. What do you say you roll the clip from the bar we were at the first night, and we'll do a proper introduction since both of these fine gentlemen were in attendance for the shenanigans.
All right. Let's see if I can do this. Here we go.
You can do it. I know you can, Jeff.
I can do it.
You're the wizard.
And where's my American shoe? Or is that the American shoe?
That's my American
okay,
shoe.
Perfect.
Don't overflow
okay,
that.
Stop that. Now, I need help. We're going to pour this American shoe into the Canadian shoe.
Oh, into the Canadian.
Yes. Hold it over the sink. I don't want to make a mess on your lovely bar.
She's a real blonde.
I did actually bartend a long time ago. And then Jack Gammie.
Jacket, that's on you. Jacket, boy.
And I want you to know that this shoe was taken off a very hard-working Canadian in the back.
Whose shoe is it?
One of the cooks back there. Thank you to him.
Go!
Holy smokes.
Yeah. That's how we kicked it off. So that was my nasty On Cloud that's waterproof, so it's not breathable. It smells like dog shit. And that was the shoe off of one of the cooks in the back of this bar that's packed out with Canadians watching hockey, I guess is what they watch up there. So we were doing that for a little while.
They just unquestionably just gave you a shoe back there. Said, I need a shoe.
Dude, Christine will talk the shoes off anybody.
There you go. Win a world champion, have to drink out of a sweaty shoe. That's
it's his fault. He did it to Christina Marshall in Sweden, so
Yeah.
And then he turned around and won the tournament. I guess it's fair. Let's bring these guys in here. Let's do it.
All right, man. Here we go. Antoine,
Hey,
Jack.
yo.
Yeah, welcome.
Hey,
Notice Jackie Boy's new hat there.
Woo.
Uh-huh. Little championship souvenir.
Hey, I need one of those. I should have,
Just let me know,
Man,
dog. I can
money,
ship
bro.
to Canada. I'd have to get like a carrier pigeon or some shit to fly to Australia
Yeah, we'll make it happen. No.
for sure. Congrats,
Dear
both
me.
of you guys. I see Jack figured out how to name himself there.
It's not rocket science, mate. Not rocket science at all.
I know how you Aussies are.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. No, it's still surreal. It was still one of the best tournaments we've ever fished. We started off the right way, doing the shoe. I'm still cleaning the grit out of my mouth from it though. I think I need a gurney to wash out all of that staining. So it was good.
Was that pre or post World Championship?
That was
That was pre. That was Monday
Oh.
night.
Monday.
Yeah, that was
Monday night. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe that was the
we
key.
went ahead and got the week started off right. I literally just crossed the border and walked right into all that. So it was fantastic.
Wow.
We're not one to shy down from a challenge, us Australians. So it's been good. It was a good trip.
This guy. Jack also ended it with a shoey on stage after he won the championship. But it was out of his own cute little tight boot, what do they call those over there?
Yeah, just the
There
old.
we
Yep.
go. There
Keep
we
it
go.
in right
Yeah.
now. Well,
Seem to be enjoying that one. more.
Absolute legend.
Yeah.
That was a clean shoe, that one. That was a very clean shoe. No, it was good. That was a fantastic tournament. I mean, hats off to Antoine. He published a limit on going into the end of the second day that made it very, very difficult to chase down. And I can't thank the competitors enough for having such a great tournament. And, you know, the level of competitors and the competitiveness and the level of angling over there is something else. And you're not going to get it anywhere else in the world. So, yeah, hats off. Hats off. So,
Yeah, talking to the Canadian team, we did an interview with the team last week, just talking to the two North American teams. And I asked them, what they thought was going to go down. And Tim Percy thought somebody from not North America, not used to catching smallmouth may come in. And he said using off the wall technique to win the tournament, but it sounds like he just got something from, just a basic TRD from Ryan here and won the whole world championship. But hey,
Yeah,
half of that was true. Half was true, right?
half of it was true, yeah. Look,
Yeah.
I said it to Marshall on the golf course. I said, mate, don't be surprised if Australian walks away and wins this. So I didn't know it was going to be me. A big shout out to Ryan and his big TRDs and his endless supply of it. It was fantastic. Also another shout out to Ron Champion with his Picasso Rhino head. So they paid dividends. The bigger size hook definitely kept the fish on a lot longer than they needed to be. So
Tell them about your rods that you have there.
Oh, which ones? The one
that's in two pieces.
And it's still sitting in the hotel room. No, that was funny. I borrowed a rod off Ron there last week and got the fish into the net and then snapped the rod about a foot and a half down from the top. So I back down to 3 rods, paddled across to him and said, mate, I've got some bad news. I just snapped your fishing rod. He goes, oh, it's fine. I've got another one in the truck for you. I said, beauty. I wasn't initially going to take it, and then I made a last-minute decision and said, I'll pinch it off you, and it worked out well. So, yeah, it was fun. It was real good. So,
Anton, tell us, how did your tournament go? I mean, walk us through practice, pre-fishing. What did you think you were on? Did you feel confident, like you had a good shot at it? And tell us just lead us into practice, and then we'll go through the tourney days back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, this was only my second time on St. Clair, and I thought it was gonna be anyone's game because there is just so many smallmouth everywhere. They could be cruising, they could be relating to cover. It was a fun practice for sure. I mean, remember that first day of practice was, it was flat calm, no waves. It was super comfortable out. It was just picture perfect, and I was smashing them on jerkbaits on that first day of practice. That was fun. And I marked a bunch of waypoints. Obviously, I covered lots of water. So and it just kind of that second day of practice was good as well. I think I kept the momentum going. So I was pretty confident going into day one. I had a pretty decent day as well. I had I think it was 89. So I was pretty happy with that. I was sitting in 4th after day one. And then going into day 2, we got a delayed start with the thunderstorms and the rain and stuff. So we had to wait for like 2.5 hours or something. And yeah, so I just went out offshore with a spinnerbait, and the conditions were super good for a spinnerbait. It was cloudy, it was windy at one point, and yeah, I ended up catching a couple big ones, about 15 minutes apart, and it really gave me confidence. And so I just kept grinding, and around 1 p.m. I decided to go back close to the ramp just to explore it and just to try out some very shallow waters. And so this is when I uploaded my fish, because I was finally sheltered from the wind. I was feeling comfortable about submitting my. I'm sorry about sandbagging again, but some guys were complaining, and I get it, but it was just so choppy out there. I just could not like spend any time looking at pictures and stuff. But yeah, I mean, so it was around 1:30. It was like 2 p.m. and I uploaded all my pictures, and I had about an hour left of fishing, so I just started to fish close to the ramp, and I pulled out the freaking like 19 3/4 with like 10 minutes to go, right in front of the ramp.
Right in front, not just in front of the ramp, in front of the entire field, because we're all coming back in to be on time, and he's over there snatching this giant at the end of the day.
It was hilarious. There was like 20 boats behind me, and I just pulled out these fish, and I was like, I never give up. I was like doing my Antoine moment.
Canada forever.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I could not believe I pulled that fish off. So that was a great way to end day 2. That put me to 94 inches on day 2. So yeah, I mean, so going into Championship Sunday, I was sitting in first, and I had to do like 3 interviews on Sunday morning, and it was not even like 6:30 in the morning. I've already done 3 interviews. I had a GoPro on my boat, and I had like Guillermo. He was following me all day in a boat. Mark was following me as well, so I had lots of pressure. Everyone wanted to beat me, but I just knew that it was not over, and I just there was still lots of work to be done. And as a matter of fact, as soon as I got on the water Sunday morning, it was awful out there, man. Nothing was working out for me. It just didn't work out. So at one point, it was like midday, and I was at 70 inches. So I'm looking at the leaderboard, and I see Jackie. He's got like 91. I'm like, holy shit. I'm in trouble. Like, I blew this up, man. Like, this is over. So I just told myself, like, hey, man, like, you can still, make a top 3. Just focus on that. So I made a long run, like a 3-mile run to a spot that I marked in practice, and I ended up catching a couple decent fish to just keep me alive in that top 3. And so yeah, Sunday it was kind of a disappointment, but at the same time, like, man, Jack, you just freaking, honestly, man, like, this is impressive. Coming from Australia and you doing 96 on Championship Sunday, man, like, you deserve it.
Thank you.
Wild.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So let's
Super
go through
impressive.
the story arc of Jack in the World Championship, because I've got this clip here, Ryan. I'm going to show from earlier in the week, and then you can expound on this.
That's sick.
Jackie boy's first smallie.
I suppose I've got to do it the proper way too.
Yeah, just hand that thing. They don't have teeth. It's Jack's first time touching a fish. Straight from down under.
All right. So from that, to World Championship Smallmouth Limit 96 inches on day 3. Jack, explain how that went. How was catching your first one, first of all, and then how the week went.
Well, if I'm going to be completely honest, I think our fish down under pull harder than those things.
That's what he said. He's like, brimfield pull harder than that. And I was like, you're fishing for lake smallmouth. Chill out, bro.
Yeah, I'd imagine the river had a bit more flow. And then, yeah, so that was the first day of practice. And I just went on and learnt the waterway from that. I was fighting the 360 drive most of the first day of practice, and then had it fixed to thanks to Chris on the ground. I think he fixed everyone's boats, and they were in tip-top shape for the rest of the tournament. And then the Thursday, I just stumbled across this patch of rock and weed out offshore, and happened to get 2 fish over 19 inches off it, and went, well, I'm not going to sit here and sting it. I'm going to leave it alone, and then kept fishing on my way back in for the rest of the practice day, and had a really good practice day. Just put in a solid limit of about 90 and 92 inches together in a space of, 500 yards. And then day 1 of practice, I went there, got my limit, and then do what I always do. Don't learn from my mistakes, is I leave fish to find fish. It's one of the big rules. It's one of the big no-nos that I should know not to do. And I did that at first practice, but I knew having an 88.5 day 1 limit was going to keep me up in the pointy end watching the live board all day. And didn't really upgrade after about 9:30. I didn't really cull any fish, which to me is good, because you don't want to be putting hooks into too many fish on the first day of the comp. And then day 2, I rinsed and repeated, but I stayed in the area and worked it over a little bit more, and another competitive limit. And then we all saw Antoine sandbag with his 94-inch limit. But he left it was a steep.
What's that
steep
toe doing? What's that toe doing right there, Jack? Is that an Australian thing?
That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, most of my fish, I couldn't keep the mouth shut. So what the toe was doing was keeping the mouth shut. And there's nothing in the rules against using your toes to keep the mouth shut on the fish. So
you're right.
There will be now.
There will be now. There will be.
I used to on my smallmouth. I'd put my finger under their whatever a fish chin is, but I'd put it under there and hold them. I never thought about sticking my toe in a fish like that.
For some reason, do that.
Both hands and a toe, Ryan. He used both hands and a toe.
You should try it, Ryan. It works out.
Those are words to live by right there. I'm going to remember that next time we go out.
So that was day two. So the Saturday morning, obviously it was a delayed start. Weather conditions turned on its head, and the wind wasn't too bad. It was wind against current, which doesn't make fishing easy, especially out where I was. I was fishing in more of a high flow currented area, just went about the business. I fished the same area, and had 4 bites pretty quickly, and then a little time went on, and I filled my limit. I was about to upload a 13-inch fish, and then very next cast I hooked into a 17.5-inch fish and sort of left it alone again. I had 89.5 inches going into on the end of day 2, and we had no idea what Anton was, where he was at, until later that afternoon. And me and Jackson, we had a big ladder to climb, but being inside that top 3 going into Championship Sundays is always good. I've been on the top spot before, and you don't get much sleep. You just overthink yourself, you second guess yourself, and then going into day 3, same spot. I didn't move. The wind was up. It was very uncomfortable conditions offshore, but every bite that I had, it stuck. And I think once I got my limit, every fish after I got my limit was a cull. So it was just building up. And the support I got from home with them watching the culling limit kept going up and up and up. And I knew Sunday, some people said, you holding fish back? I said, not today. I said, today's not the day to hold fish back. It's scoreboard pressure, as Antoine said. So he watched the scoreboard, and then that would put more pressure on himself to fish more. So you learn from previous world's experiences about all of that stuff, and you can all you got to do from it is walk away with the wealth of knowledge you learn from a few tournament days or past experiences, and that's what I put together. And to finish the day 3 on a pressured waterway, I'd fished the same spot for 4 days in a row.
Wow.
Just managing my fish. I actually found another rock pile not far from the one I was fishing that had more good fish on it as well. So I was just throwing the 5-inch big TRD and green pumpkin. I got a couple on drop shot early, and then just threw the big bait for the big bites. So yeah, no, it was pretty cool. And yeah, the support I got when I was back on the beach, the first one on the beach, had a few of the Aussie boys come up to us and give us a hug, and then yeah, the American boys got behind it. Marshall and Lambert come up to us and goes, "Did you just do what I think you did?" I said, "I think I did." So
yeah, he just gave me a big old hug, and I was like, "Oh shit, Jackie just won this thing."
Yeah, I've worked hard for that one. Come close a few years ago. I was leading the top spot and walking away with third. So I know how Antoine feels, and hopefully he takes a wealth of knowledge away from it and puts it.
Yeah, man. No, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like I said, you deserve it. Like, this is very impressive coming from Australia, and just put it on a clinic. Day 3 is, you deserve it. Like, I'm not even mad. Like, if I was, if I had lost, from a 1/4 inch, from a 1/2 inch, I'd be pissed off. But it is what it is, man. You just killed it. So
yeah, we got Steve Fields watching. Everybody behave now. Y'all act right now. Daddy's in the house. Daddy's in the house. Straighten up.
Keep the swearing to a limit.
No, we're good.
No, and the other one too on yours, pretty good hands. When you have a tournament days and you don't drop a fish all week, that was the kind of the week I had. Every fish I hooked, got it to the boat and put it on the board. So that's very rare, and it doesn't happen very often. So it's near perfect tournament. And
that's what it takes, to win those.
Day three threw a lot of people for a loop, myself included. I mean, you're looking at 3 and 4 foot rollers coming across. So every time that boat's dropping down, even if you have the fish on and you're trying to keep it tight, you're going down with it. And if those smallmouth get a bit of slack, man, it's super hard to get them pinned. I had 3 bites on the chatterbait, like first thing, day 3, and lost all 3 of them. And immediately I was like, uh-oh, today might not be a great day. And then proceeded to lose about 5 more. So hats off to you, Jackie, for being able to fight through that, because day 3 whipped my ass. I was having a great time up until that point.
Oh, yeah, it was one of those things. I actually put the spin reels away for majority of the day 3 and stuck to the bait cast because of the ratio was better for it, and I could just crank them in pretty much, let them do their jump, and then once they jumped, they'd just go down deep and fight deep, and it was pretty much straightforward and into the net after that, so it was good.
Yeah, my question was going to be out there in there's rollers, high winds, and waves, throwing a TRD on some sort of jig head. What kind of setup did you have to be able to feel the bite, fight the fish, and all that, and know what was going on?
I was running 10-pound test, as you guys call it, on my bait cast setups.
As you guys call it.
What do y'all call it?
What do you call it over there?
We just call them 10-pound leaders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then I think I was running 14 and 15-pound braid. So it gave me enough to cast. And I knew, because we weren't fishing heavy structure, I didn't need to go super heavy to land these fish, as long as I got them off the bottom and maintained that first jump. I was in pretty good hands after that. So, and I wasn't really setting the hook as like leaning into it like you guys all do over there. And I think that's something to do with looking after that lighter line. Like on my spin and my drop shot setups, I was running 7-pound. And those leaders held up all day. I could catch 4 or 5 fish before I had to retie the drop shot hook back on. So it goes to show that you guys fish way too heavy for those fish over there.
Ah, man, whatever. I don't want to hear that mess. I was throwing 20-pound string out there, ripping their face off all day too with that chatterbait. I was having a good time. I felt like I was at home in the grass on that deal. It was fun.
Yeah. So, and then that first practice day, having him Ryan by my side, watching me catch my first smallmouth it's pretty cool, and it'll be up there as a lifelong memory. So
yeah, man, absolutely.
He gave me an inch and I took a mile. So
I mean, what we just had happen. You look at Hobie Worlds, and a lot of people don't understand, I think, what the whole experience is. Like, it's not just a fishing tournament. Like, you meet so many good people, and they're friends for life. I mean, we started out we started out just jabbing
This
each
is
other,
good.
man, just back and forth all week long, messing with each other's boats, putting stuff in them, just prank after prank. And then, we switched jerseys at the end. I'm like, man, I can't wait to see him again. And they added him late to the tournament. And I was like, yes, Jackie Boy's coming. We're on the water, and I've caught, I don't know, 6 or 8 fish off this one spot, and Jack's like 100, 125 yards down. And I'm like, I pedal over. I'm like, have you caught anything yet? He's like, no. I was like, you've never caught a smallmouth? He's like, I was like, come here, man. I was like, cast in right here. And I just went ahead and got the phone out because I knew he was going to catch one on that cast because there was a wad of them in there. And I gave him one of the magic worms, and then we see each other later in the day. He's like, you got any more of those worms? He's like, this is a cheat code. And I was like, oh, yeah, I got a box full in the truck. And the final day, he's like, I need another pack of those worms. And I was like, oh, man, this is it. It's just funny how this stuff comes full circle. Like, you meet strangers and you leave friends and you got them forever. It's awesome.
What other tournament can you roll up to where one competitor is giving you some soft plastics? I think I heard Jack say that Ron shared some jig heads with him. You don't see that at any other tournament that I've ever heard of anyway. Everybody plays it close to the vest.
Yeah, exactly. A few of the boys knew what I was throwing, especially the ones that I was borrowing gear off. I kept it pretty tight to the chest with the Australian guys, especially the location I was fishing. Obviously, my roommate Francis knew what I was doing from the word get-go because I lent him some of those worms too, and he goes, man, I haven't put that thing down since you gave it to me. So hats off to Ryan for sharing some inside knowledge there, which is fantastic. And obviously, he's got to work both ways when he comes to Australia, but he's welcome here anytime. Same as
you get welcome people in from different parts of the world, right? And they may have never seen a fishery like that or a technique like that or a presentation. They're just not used to it. And if my friends are coming anywhere near me, like, I want them to have fun. I want them to catch fish. Like, that's especially the Australian shit. How long did it take you to get home? 30 hours?
Yeah, it was like, I left. I think it was a 30-hour transition. I got home, walked in the door about 3 hours ago. So doing everything I can to stay awake at the moment.
Like, if you travel 30 hours, I want you to catch fish. I don't want to watch my friend come 30 hours and not have a great time. So, I don't regret any bit of it, man. It was absolutely awesome. It was awesome watching the whole thing play out.
I think Hobie really nailed it. Like, from day one to the very last day, we had free drinks, free food every day. We were treated like kings. I felt like I was a king all week. So, yeah, man, it was just an unbelievable experience.
It is.
And I'll speak to that a little bit. So Hobie, they have a new guy at the helm, Marty, and it was thanks to him that he did open bar for us every night. He took us to a fantastic Italian restaurant. And when I say me and him hit it off, I mean thick as thieves from the jump. I love that dude. He showed us so much fun, and he was, very vocal about about the friendship that we forged in that one. But it's his hometown. He lives there in Windsor, and he knows everyone. And gosh, and that's what I told him, man. A lot of owners of companies, they're not out engaging with people, hanging out, shaking hands. That's the stuff that makes you support a brand. And it's not even just a brand, it's a culture. Like, he immersed himself in what we do, and he didn't have to. And I appreciate that.
And that's what makes him, extending on that, that's what's going to make him stand above any other company, is exactly that. He took the time and shook everybody's hand, met everybody's hand, asked everyone how their day went, how their fishing's going, or enjoying anything he can do for us, let me know, all that sort of stuff. And you don't get that from company owners that often. So he's one of the best. One of the best.
No, he's the man.
Very cool. Very cool to see. If you have any questions for either one of these two, drop them in the comments. We've got a good audience across all platforms. We've got a big audience on Twitter tonight. X.
Do we?
Not right. Yeah. So appreciate y'all over there. If you're watching there, we can't see your comments here, but we appreciate you anyway. But hit the repost button over there for us, or the retweet. Let us know.
We're out here tweeting.
Out here tweeting tonight. I got a question from earlier back on the fishing itself. Matt Frentress asked, what were you looking for in practice? What keyed you in on those specific spots? And we can go with Antoine first. You're obviously the Canadian. You say you haven't fished that lake many times, but there's probably similar similar situations up there? What were you looking for during practice?
I was looking at individual patches of grass, and I was looking for rock as well. Any rock I could find, I would mark a waypoint, and that was kind of what I was looking for mainly. And I would be throwing an edge rig as well, or a jerk bait, and I did caught a few fish on a hair jig too, which was a lot of fun. So no, that was kind of what I was looking for.
Yeah. And Jack, coming over for the first time to fish for smallmouth, how did you do some research to figure out what you were going to start looking for when you got there, or how did that go?
None whatsoever. I went over there with an open mind. Anytime you can find some sort of deep water structure, weed beds, rock piles, and fish are going to congregate and hold up. I was lucky enough to find it in a bit of current over near the shipping lanes. So I knew the fish would replenish each day and hold up. So it was good.
Yeah.
But there's also that waterway. It's like searching for a bottle of water in the desert. So once you find it, stuff's going to be happening around it. And I think that was one of the key points or key reasons why I caught the fish that I did. So it's good.
How weird is it?
Tell them about that weird ass chartreuse and white. It looked like a bird eating a crawfish or something.
Well, I bought one of these jigs across, and it was a bright coloured jig. And on practice and both practice days, I went to Ryan. I said, I caught my biggest fish on these the last 2 days. He goes, how? I said, I have no idea. When the conditions went dark, I threw something completely out there just to see whether it worked, and that just proves how dumb the fish are. I didn't catch a fish on it during the tournament days. Put it that way.
I didn't think you would. I was actually shocked that even if those fish are dumb, they would be that dumb. Like,
yeah,
that was pretty suspect.
Yeah, it's definitely bright.
I know everybody there gets, obviously they have boats set up for each of you. How did it take any adjustment? I know all of you fish out of Hobies probably already, but did it take any adjustment, not fishing in your own boat, not fishing with your own graph, anything like that? Was there an adjustment period there?
I usually not fish out of a Hobie. I'm with Feel Free Kayaks.
Oh, okay. So maybe adjustment.
This was quite a different experience. I am not used to use that 360 drive was a learning curve for me. That first day of practice and everyone was gone. The shotgun started, and I was one of the last guys. I was like, I could barely move. I was totally lost out there. But do it after maybe a couple hours. I was very comfortable with it. And I was very impressed overall by the Hobies. They are phenomenal boats.
Oh yeah. You'll be in one in a minute. Don't worry. Stay tuned. What'd you think about the Lowrance graph?
That was kind of a learning curve as well. I'm usually with a Garmin.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing I noticed was the settings were like you had meters and Celsius. So that
I still have it. I still have it right now. I switched my graph at home to that shit just so I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, this is not a Canadian thing. So I was lost with that at first.
Wait, what? Y'all don't use meters up there?
No, man, we don't. We go by feet and Fahrenheit.
My whole life
Who
was
tricked
a lie.
us? Who tricked us? That was Steve Fields. That had to be Steve Fields. He's like,
Yeah,
watch this. I'll get these blokes.
No, Steve, man. What a solid dude.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Jackie boy?
Mate, I fish out of a 2019 or 2021 Outback, so the changeover is not that different, and I've been lucky enough to fish out of a few PA14s over the years, and I run Lowrance graphs and fish finders on my power boat and my sounder at home, and I have been for the last sort of 8 years, and I actually went in there and changed my settings back to feet, because when I'm fishing rivers and inshore stuff, I'll run feet. It's just how I've been brought up, and when I step outside offshore into the saltwater, deep offshore saltwater stuff, it's either fathoms or meters. So it wasn't much of an adjustment, and because I have such little gear for what those boats are capable of throwing, I've got plenty of deck space to walk around and do yoga and all that sort of stuff on the boat. So credit
you look like you do yoga.
I do.
I know your jeans are like yoga pants. I ain't never seen anything like that.
You got these tight jeans in Australia, Ryan?
Boy, hey, this sucker
couldn't keep his
here,
eyes off
you
them.
can't breathe in them.
No, they were very constrictive. And then it also had me lucky undies on as well. So
What do you call them?
I call them budgie smugglers. Yeah.
There's a
hashtag.
picture of him with his shorts dropped down somewhere on the. I think it's on the Hobie side, isn't it?
No, Steve refused to put one up.
Oh, that one didn't make it.
No.
What about that picture where we're all doing number one?
Oh yeah. That one got away. Try and bring that one.
Jackie was doing a different number one. It was crazy.
I was flipping Ryan the bird
when they took the picture.
when they took the picture, and it got up and it stayed up. It was go. It's just it's more this tournament's more than fishing.
Oh yeah, it is.
It really is. It's something I look forward to when I qualify. It's just catching up with everybody because, as Ryan has stated before, it's lifelong friends that you don't get to see enough of. And the worst part about these tournaments is the closing ceremony, because you know that the time is only limited, and saying goodbyes is hard. So
luckily the blackjack table stayed open just long enough.
just long enough. So.
No, I wish I would have spent more time with you guys. I was with my girlfriend, so I wanted to spend time with her. But maybe next time we'll spend a bit more time together.
That's the tricky part. Girlfriends are great until you want to stay out all night with the boys.
No, it's all right. But, yeah, no, great.
Ryan learned that the hard way the first year in Sweden.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can't watch the show.
She couldn't handle any more Jackie boy.
Yeah. I'm a lot of Aussie.
Yeah. No, we had a blast. I mean, like they're saying, just getting to hang out with everybody, but also like you get these kind of rivalries and fun, kind of ribbing each other back and forth. And I took it easy on Jackie boy all week. I didn't mess with him. Let him have his fun. But that final day, Marshall and I, we had forgotten our batteries in the boat. And you have to take your batteries out and take them home and charge them every day like good boys, so Steve doesn't get mad at us. So we went back to get our batteries, and I had Marshall stop and get a bottle of KY lubricant. And I thought, what would Jack not expect me to do? So I take this clear lubricant and I apply it generously to both steering handles of his kayak and to the foam pedals. And when the wind was blowing so hard that morning, I was like, oh shit, like he's gonna figure out the pedals real quick. And Jack, tell us what happened.
I got in the kayak in the morning. I went to dry it, paddle straight off, and my feet slipped off, and I put them back on again. And it took me 2 or 3 goes before I realised that something was applied to my foot pedals. And I turned around and looked at Chris on the beach. I said, "Did you do something to my pedals?" He goes, "I wouldn't do such a thing to you." He goes, "Turn around and look at your mate over there, pissing himself laughing on the water." And I paddle up to him and I said, "Mate, that is one of the best pranks I've ever seen, because it's so subtle. You don't know anything's done until you actually get a little bit of moisture on it, and it's like trying to run up a plastic tarpaulin with sugar soap on it." So it was funny, and luckily it's water based, so I can scrub it off, and I got on with the day.
And I actually, honestly, I felt bad when I saw how terrible the conditions were. That
oh, come on, don't lie, you didn't.
That's awesome.
It's so funny that he froze on the screen.
Yeah.
Ryan gets his internet worked out there.
They get slick throughout the day. Honestly, I would have felt bad. I'm like, I'm on hotel internet. What's happening here?
Yeah, we froze up like max headroom there for a second, but we're good. You're back.
Okay, all right.
You're not home yet? He's not even home yet.
And I got home last night late. I had to take my daughter to 2 volleyball lessons, and then drove to Hendersonville, Tennessee. I've got a meeting in the morning, so.
Oh, gotcha.
I stay on the road, Playboy.
Yeah.
A couple more questions we got for you guys, if you don't mind. We got Top Shelf Fishing over on YouTube. How are your tactics different from practice to game day? What changed for you? Anything?
Well, Whoa, good question. I mean, I was smashing them on the jerkbait in practice, and it just didn't really happen in tournament time. So I had to focus on just chewing the net all day and just a bit more finesse stuff. Except that when I pulled out that sprinter bait, I caught a couple good ones, but I don't know. And there wasn't much of a difference except that the jerkbait bite kind of it kind of died on me during the tournament time.
Jack, what about you, sir?
Not really. Once I sort of worked him out on the first day of practice, I changed techniques a little bit going into day 2 of practice, and then just try to really hone in on a couple of different techniques. And I think I only really threw the 3 or 4 different baits all weekend. One being the Ned rig, that was on the thing the whole time, and then a 4-inch, we call them gulp sandworms. They're pretty good for our saltwater species back here. And then a little clear flick bait, soft plastic, about 3 inches long. And I'd throw that when the sun come out, because it just lights up with sparkles and glitter and everything like that in the water, and looks like as a natural bait presentation as you can get. So just rotated between those, and I'd cast one for 20, 30 minutes, and then I'd change. And if the bite was on one or the other, I'd keep it in the hand a little bit longer. So, and then on what was funny is Ryan put up a story on his Instagram saying, "Oh yeah, I just dialed in a bigger bite on my favourite lure of all time." And if I recall it, he actually told me, and my memory served me right, I threw a jackhammer back on and started cranking the wee baits with the jackhammer and was getting fish on that. And we stitched a couple of people up when we got back into shore. And they're going, "You catching them on jackhammer?" I said, "Yeah, smashed them on a jackhammer." And it was amazing to see how quickly word spread of me catching my fish on a jackhammer from Z-Man. So it was pretty funny.
Well, I did. I mean, Instagram stories or whatever, that's public information. So I'm like, if you're smart enough to follow me on Instagram, then here's your hint, boys. Jump on it.
Get the juice.
Yeah. So that was pretty funny. It was good. But no, the techniques didn't change across the 3 days. The only thing I changed on Sunday was I went up to I had a much heavier drop shot weight on when I was running the drop shot, just so I could be in contact with and have a bit more feel in the line, and maybe upsize the jig head I was running on the Ned rig just to get a better cast, and again keep in contact with the line and make sure the lure's on the bottom a hell of a lot more. So a lot of the time the bigger fish actually ate the lure on the drop before I even started working it. But yeah, it's just sit there, shake the rod tip, or even bang the bottom of the rod tip with your hand in one spot for as long as possible, and wait, just a waiting game.
If you did the night before right, your hand was still shaking when you got out there.
Yeah.
But Jack,
explain how that went, Ryan.
I mean, it went well to the 3rd day, Jackie boy.
Yeah.
Hey Jack, were you changing colors? When you said you were changing colors when clouds were rolling in. Is that true? Were you like going to it with a darker color, with a cloudy cover, or?
Yeah, correct. I had the 4 baits tied on and just changed colour. So green pumpkin was definitely the standout across the tournament. But I'd throw that when it was really, really cloudy. Just gives a darker presentation, and I believe that they can see it a bit better in those low light conditions. And then as it lightened up and the water cleared up with the sun, I went to a lighter presentation, and it stands out just as much in the water. So I don't know whether it happens all the time, but whether it's just something I do naturally. But at home, I try and throw as a natural presentation as possible. So match the hatch, they say.
Yeah, interesting.
Another member from the Canadian team, Nate Conley, had a great tournament himself. He asked this question for Jack. There's a lot of scattered rock piles and grass patches in the water. What made your spot different and reload throughout the day?
I can't exactly answer that 100%, but my take on it was because I was fishing, obviously, rock patches and rock piles with weed over in the main current. I believe that the fish that I was catching were travelling fish, not more or less fish just holding one spot, being lazy. I think the fish were moving through in groups or small patches, and I'd get 2 or 3 bites in a 30-minute window, and then it'd go quiet for another hour and a half or so, and then they'd come through again. So I think that's what made it hold up for the 3
How
4
close
days
was it to the river channel itself, generally?
Probably 2 miles, maybe.
Oh, okay.
So I was a fair way offshore, but in relation to the start of the river channel, maybe 1.5 miles so to
Okay,
speak.
so
But
so I
enough
just want to
have a
clear
lot of
that up.
current.
Like, you're not sitting on the river channel trying to do that, because if folks, if you don't know a lot about the Detroit River, that sucker is moving. Marshall tried to tuck in there out of the wind on day 3. There's
Good
an
luck.
island down there, and as he said, as soon as the nose of his kayak got into the river channel, he's like a mile and a half downriver by the yacht club where we ate dinner, and he said he's pedaling as hard as he can, going 0.7 miles an hour back upstream.
Yeah.
He said, I thought I was gonna have to call you to come get me. He's like, it was terrible.
Yeah, that
That's
curve
probably
was-
why they'll never have a kayak tournament up on the St. Lawrence. You know, there, a lot of people have asked for that, but that current rips on some of these northern rivers. man.
Yeah, that would be tough.
Yeah.
Tim said he takes a dump on the ground there or something.
Hey, shout out to Tim and Richard. Didn't they win a sportsmanship award?
So
They did,
they do an Angler's Choice Award every year, and Ron won it last year, or 2 years ago, sorry, in Sweden, and Tim and Rich tied for it this year, and Tim and Rich were instrumental to this tournament being where it was, but also the experience that we had. They both went above and beyond. They lined up all, the lunches and stuff. They helped load and unload the boat, set everything up. I mean, they, hats off to those guys. And if you don't know them, you need to. Great people. And there were not 2 more deserving people in that building.
No, I voted for them, and I just knew they were gonna win this. They deserved it. They did so much for this event, putting money out of their own pocket, and just they are legends to me.
Yeah,
they really are.
I think what made it stand out too is they personally went over to just about every angler to make sure, do you know what's going on? Do you need any baits, techniques, anything like that? And then, the time they put in of their own time out of their own back pocket to help set up the boats, make sure everything was right, and even. I know they've just finished packing the boats up there over there now, and again, both of them have been working their asses off. So, as you guys said, no 2 more people deserve it more than them. Fantastic guys, and I've known them since the Gold Coast Worlds, and it's always a pleasure catching up with them every time I get
Tim
that
is
chance.
always involved in the shenanigans as well. He was involved in Jack and I's our foot races in Sweden and boat crashes. So obviously I've got the new Achilles, so I went to foot race Tim on day 2, and like by the time we got to the finish line, my right knee is just killing me. Well, that was the day of the Angler's Choice Awards on our rain delay, and I told Steve Fields, I said, look, it's Tim's day today. I said, tomorrow morning, I'd already made my mind up. I wasn't going to mess with Jack till the 3rd day, and I wasn't going to take Tim out to the 3rd day. I said, the 3rd day, I'm taking Tim out. And and we start off foot racing, and I see him get about a half a boat in front of me. And I was like, here we go. Spun him out, and luckily he didn't go in the water. I didn't want him to go in the water, but I was thankful that he didn't. But that's part of this thing, man. It's not just the fishing. You get to have fun and mess with each other and talk trash. We threw cornhole a couple nights. I mean, there was everything under the sun, everything you could want. That's I saw comments earlier, or actually Antoine said this is probably the best week of my life in his post, and that's the feeling that you leave with. Like, I drove home 10 hours yesterday, just overflowing with emotion. You miss it. You miss what you get to experience at this thing.
Like adult summer camp up there.
Yeah, it is. It's an adult summer camp, and the fishing is just the cherry on top.
Yep.
It really is. Everything else makes the tournament. The fishing is just the cherry on top.
I want to give a shout out to Dusty Yacker, Jeff. He had
his real name. Can you pronounce his real name? His real last name?
I can't, and I won't. And he had Yacker on the back of his jersey, so I don't feel like I have to. But he had a rough day 1. He caught the shit out of fish, but there was some confusion on time to come back in, and he was late for it, so he suffered a penalty, and he's obviously upset about it, right? Because he's fished that area quite a bit. He lives close to there, and everybody wants to win the championship. Like, you don't want to – nobody goes up there like, man, I hope I get in 15th. Like, you want to freaking win the thing. That's why you show up. And he's visibly upset by it. And I went to him on day 2 that morning, and I was like, man, shake that off. I was like, don't get in your head. Don't go home. Stay for this experience. And when we were celebrating Jackie Boy at the casino that night, he hugs me and he's like, "Thank you so much for telling me to stick this out, because it truly is something you can't replace. Money can't buy it. Like the stuff that you get to be involved in there, and the happiness and you know, watching watching Jackie do a shoey on stage, like you know, I mean, it's a show, man. It's just a big show, and I don't think any of us will ever want to, you know, not be involved in it. Anytime there's an opportunity, you know, I think that's something people will jump at with both feet.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know the answer to this, but a good amount of countries represented, obviously. Is there a chance or a plan to grow the representation of the countries represented in this with Hobie Worldwide? Do you guys know?
If Steve Fields is listening, he would probably be the man to answer that.
Yeah, I saw him in the comments, so maybe he knows the answer to that. I bet you they can. I bet you they will. I know it was a wide variety of folks there. Did you, Anton? This was your. We interviewed you the other night. Was this your second one? Did I understand that right?
This was my first.
First one. Okay, first one. Okay, so somebody on there was a second. Yeah. So how many people? What was your favorite experience as far as meeting people? You know, from all these other countries, was a little bit overwhelming? Did you have fun? What was your favorite?
It was, you know, it was one of the best parts of the week was just you know, get to talk to you know, even the people from South Korea, like they could not speak a word of English, but we could almost understand each other. Like it was unreal.
They're happy. They're happy as shit too. I'll give them that. I mean, they are going around filming everything, taking selfies with everybody. Like I mean, you feel it. Like you can feel. You know, that's something Marty said. He's like, you can feel the energy off some people, and you can. Like you see the people that are loving life and loving the experience, and you can't go into that thing taking it too serious. And I know for us, you know, in Canada and US, like we're used to catching smallmouth. It's not that stressful of a thing. But like Sweden, we're going over there fishing for perch and stuff. Like we're blind on that. Like I ain't got a clue how to catch a perch on purpose outside of foul hook it. But you can't just stress yourself out on that stuff, man. Like you have to find the joy in other things, because the chance of you going out and catching a perch in 300 feet of water isn't too great coming from the way we fish down south.
Yeah. Everything was great. Like I said, the boat cruise was definitely a fun time, and you know, getting to, you know, getting free drinks and free food every night, and just getting to talk fishing with everyone. Everyone was happy. Everyone was, you know, smiling, and it just was a freaking good time.
Shout out to the event staff that Hobie had on hand. You know, they work so hard. You know, taking care of everything for us, cleaning everything up, the food, setting all the boats up, packing all the things up. Shout out to Chris, Jack's leader from Australia, for being an absolute hammer, man. He is hilarious. He's a real dude, and it was fantastic. And of course, Steve Fields for putting this whole thing together year after year and making it the absolute best show on earth. Like you could not find a better kayak fishing tournament anywhere.
Yeah,
it's the
amazing
cream.
stuff.
Yeah, the cream of the cream.
Yeah, I know. We talk about the pinnacle of our bass fishing championships here in the States. We've got, you know, the TOC, obviously the Bassmaster Kayak Championship, but this seems to have a different feel, a different flavor to it, kind of stand above the rest. So amazing job over there.
I think because the experience is so great, because it's not just the tournament. It's not just focused on the tournament. It's you get to, you know, like we said, make friends for life from all over the world.
Yeah, very cool.
Exactly.
Well done.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I know, especially Jack, I know you're wore out and tired. We don't want to keep you much longer, but just congrats once again, and thank you for taking the time to join us tonight and share your story with us.
No, it's my pleasure. I was about to say, I wonder if that win gives me a key to the TOC championship, because there's one. That's one tournament I do really want to compete in, and I know it's one of the hardest ones to qualify for. But it'd be something. Hopefully, Ryan can pull a few strings and poke a few bears over there and get me in the tournament.
I can poke bears. I don't have any strings to pull, pal. Jackie boy, I'm proud as hell of you. I mean, I told you, man. I couldn't ask for anything better. It was awesome. Glad to know you.
It was the best tournament week by far. Everyone made it what it was, and as you guys said, you guys already thanked Steve. He's a mastermind behind it all, and then I mean, he's got a very, very good support team behind him with Chris, Jim, Giro is questionable. The media staff with the content they put up and
They
and
killed
then also
it. It was impressive.
and then Dwayne with his 20X app, that makes life so easy, that app.
Yep.
I wish we could start using it here in Australia.
He'll let you
for certain tournaments. I know he'll let us, but there's some other things we got to try and some other barriers we got to break through first to get that over here. And I think this tournament shows it how much better it is and how it stands above every tournament app that we've seen. But hats off to Chris. Worked his ass off and still had a good time at the end of the day too.
Yes,
so,
he did.
Worked hard, played harder. So,
amen.
It was good. And Marty showing us around his hometown and looking after us and treating us all like kings as well. So fantastic. It was a fantastic week.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Great
solid.
stuff.
I mean, you guys can improve on your coffee, but that's about it.
I never
That's
tasted
Canada,
it.
man. That's not us.
You should try the tequila.
The American coffee wasn't much better.
Damn it. Come on, Jack.
Yeah,
You got to go to a good gas station. You got to go to a good gas station for that. You can't trust
gas
like
station.
coffee houses.
I went to 7 of them, and they were all just as bad as each other.
Ah,
Did you try Tim Hortons?
Yes, that was the best coffee I had in the States.
Oh, wow.
Second best.
Sweet.
So,
Anton, congrats on a great tournament. I hate that it turned out to be such a tough day 3, but you still made a great run at it, and I don't think second place in the World Championships is anything to hang your head about. Great job.
I'm super happy. Like I said, I'm glad I got to witness what Jack pulled out. It was honestly one of the most impressive wins I have ever seen. So I mean, I was there to watch it, and I'll never forget it. So, no man,
you got to take your hat off to yourself too, mate. You're a hell of an angler, and you definitely. I was kind of hoping that the results would be a lot closer, so we could stress about it going into the dark zone. It wasn't to be, take your hat off, mate. 'Cause you made me fish my ass out. Don't you worry. You made me work hard for it. Wasn't easy.
It was fun, man. No, I'll never forget this week. I'm kind of speechless right now, man. I can't even process like everything that had just happened in the last few days. It's gonna take me a few days to get back to reality. That's how crazy that was.
Put it this way: on a scale of events, this event does pretty much ruin any other tournament that you fish in because of the level of competitiveness, the mateship, the fishing. Just what's provided, and it really does. You end up with a World's Championship hangover, and looking for your next taste of it again.
Yeah, I will agree with that completely. I definitely have a World Championship hangover.
Yeah, I think this one's going to last a while for me too. So,
no doubt.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining us. We're going to let y'all get out of here, and we are going to draw for this Hobie Lynx.
Thanks, boys.
Congrats again, fellas.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Sir, appreciate y'all. There we go. Jack and Anton. Great guys. Great representatives of the sport from their respective countries, man.
I like Jackie boy, and that's what I was telling Chris. I was like, man, I could tell as hard as I messed with him because I saw him poking at Marshall in Sweden, and I went up to him and grabbed him by the shirt the next day. I was like, I'm Lambert, and that was my baby brother, and you just messed up. I said, I'm coming for you for the rest of the week. And he has some salt to him now. He didn't blink. We stayed after it all week long in Sweden, and I couldn't be happier to have him here catching smallmouth on some Z-Man Ned rigs, baby.
Yeah,
it was great.
That's awesome, dude. And we got Dylan in the comments asking how he enters the drawing. You had to be watching the last 3 weeks, sir. That's how you enter the drawing.
Damn, Dylan. Boy, support the show. That's crazy.
Thought we
as
were
much
friends,
as I
Dylan.
do for Dylan, the sucker ain't even watching the podcast. It's crazy.
My God. So the grand finale, cherry on top. Somebody mentioned that earlier, Ryan. This is the cherry on top of this month-long run for Hobie Worlds, the Hobie Lynx / Eco Fishing Shop giveaway. We're about to do it here in a second. Let's shout out the other sponsors real quick. Western Son Vodka. If you'd poured some of that in his boot, he really got a nice kick. Should have had some of that up there. I don't know if you can bring that across the border, though. That may have been illegal. But if you're in the States, get you some Western Sun Vodka, Pro God Lithium. Battery of choice. I mean, it's summertime. Make sure you take care of your batteries, and if you need a new one, look up the ProGuide lithiums. Get you a quality battery there. Z-Man's a giveaway partner, man. We should have done a giveaway tonight with Z-Man with all the Z-Man talk.
I know. I'm gonna
TRDs.
work on getting something put together with the story of what just took place here. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Of course, Revo. Get on your Revos for July 4th. Get out in the sun. Seaguar and Gil. So we appreciate all of our partners for this show. But it's time for that Eco Hobie Lynx giveaway.
Oof.
Coming. I don't know how this spinny thing works. Is there going to be a slow roll? Is it going to barely click over? We'll see. We'll all experience it together.
Is it going to get faster? Or do you think this is top speed on it?
I don't know. I got to hit the little arrow over on the right, and it's supposed to do something when I do that. So
all right.
We'll see.
I'm excited.
James Finnegan asked, did we draw from Apple Podcasts already? Shane G and Kurt Page were the 2 from Apple Podcasts. That's who got picked from there. So they got added to the 9, and that's our 11 on the screen.
Done.
All right, here we go.
I got
look at that.
$3. I'm putting 5 chips on Bubba Jones.
It's going. It's going.
Damn. That's why I don't gamble. Oh.
It went over to George Wheeler.
Whoa. Whoa. That wasn't even a slow roll. That was a crack tickler there.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
We might have a protest on that one. I don't know.
Do we have an HR department, do you think?
Yeah. Mark Cisneros, are you there? We'll
That'd be the last one to put in the HR department.
Big worm, get in there.
Wow. Big Worm Worldwide. What was that?
Yeah, Worm Worldwide. WWW.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Well, congratulations, man. We got you a Lynx on the way.
Yeah, George Wheeler. We're gonna get it to you. Oh, he's in there. He was watching.
I
too.
know. He's clearing out garage space right now.
Yeah, that's amazing. So good job. Fun show.
Congratulations. Thanks everybody for participating in this and helping get more eyes on Hobie Worlds. And if you're not familiar with it, you got to look into it. They have a ton of content. Again, the media coverage was next level. They were out in the boats. If you had an issue on the water, Steve Fields is bringing you whatever he needs. I mean, they're bringing snacks around if you didn't bring water or food. Overall, you couldn't ask for a better tournament experience, and that is why it is the World Championship. There's not another one. There's nothing made up. That's it. That is it.
That's it. You're either it or you're not. You can't just slap a label.
And that
on
is it.
Is it?
That is it. I'm not having one with 5 of my friends in the backyard. That's the World Championship.
There we go, man. Well done, Ryan. Congrats on being on the team again and being such a great.
Well, it was a good run, brother.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, hope everybody has a great 4th of July. Celebrate our American
Be
Independence
safe.
Day.
Hey, put it in reverse, Terry. Don't forget.